Maseches Bava Metzia Daf Samegil Amud Aleph Mishenich Masado Marbin Besimcha. We're continuing with the Simcha Satorah Perek Ezu Neshech. Yes, Samech Gimel Amud Aleph in the bottom of the page. Yet again, I will tell you the background, which I think you know, but you'll definitely be worthwhile hearing again. Welcome to all our Torah Anytime viewers and YouTubers. Okay, so basically the story is as follows. Chachami made the gzera not to sell things in a way that would indicate ribbis. In a way, anything that would lead to ribbis is also, even if it didn't start as a loan, but started as a sale. What's the case? Let's say I go to someone's store and I want to buy something now. He doesn't yet have the product. He doesn't have it. And most people in the market don't have it either. I'd like to have it now, but he cannot provide it to me now. So then we say, you know what? Now I'm going to buy it for cheap. I'm buying it now for cheap because why? There are different reasons. We're going to see later on more reasons. But for now, I'm staying with the price that is before the official price came out in the market. It's still cheaper, right? And there's no demand yet. It's cheaper now. That's a reality. And now, either reality or that's what they decided. We'll see later. And the Maisa, it's only going to come later to me. So let's say I want to buy, I don't know, a ton of wheat for, I don't know, 1,000 shekel. Then I say, listen, I'm giving you 1,000 shekels. Oh, if I give you 1,000 shekels and you don't have it, and your neighbors don't have it, nobody in the market has it, then we say that if I say, let's stay with the old price, and even though eventually when you will deliver it to my house, or when I come again, the nice fresh wheat will be there waiting for me, and then the wheat will be worth 1,200, that's bad. That's wrong. Because giving 1,000 into what? Into nowhere, into amana. There's no wheat neither by you nor by your neighbor. I'm giving it, trusting you. The one sunny day you'll give it to me, right? That sounds like halvo, even though it's a mekach umemkar, but it shmeks of halvo. I'm giving money, throwing it to the black hole, right? You like the example, and then eventually 1,200 will pop up back. How? In the form of wheat. So even though I'm asking for wheat and getting back wheat, the maisa it looks like and smells like halvo, 1,000 here, and here the chitim came to me, and then they're worth more. That's forbidden derabanan. That's really the only forbidden case so far, lefi most opinions. However, if I came to the store and I have money in my hands and the person has the chitim, that's called yesh loy. If the person has chita in the store, but from some reason he can't deliver it now, or I don't want it now, but Lamaisa has the chitim in the store, even though the chitim are there and not by me, I'm the buyer, because the chitim are there, the money is kilu caught on the chitim. Can money buy chitim? No. But there is shepara. He's now committed, obligated to give me the chitim, or else he's going to get a nasty klala from Beis Din. Therefore, the chitim are keilu by me already. And now, if they grew, let's say we make the deal in Adar, and I'm going to collect it Erev Pesach in a month's time, okay? In Adar, the chitim are still in your shop, true. But because be'etzem money was given and the chitim are there, and we know that the chitim are designated for me, Mimela we say it's keilu the chitim are in my house. They became expensive, 200 shekels extra in my house. No problem. Yeah. The yogurt in my fridge was 5 shekels. Now it's 5.5. So what? It's by me. Nobody's giving me anything new. That's the one kula yeshloi. A more extensive kula, which we're going to see, which we saw and we'll see more extensively today. Today we're going to learn, the beginning of the shiur will be on what I'm about to tell you now, which we learned before, and now we're going to delve deep into. And that is what happens when I come to your chitim store, yeah, beautifulwheat.com. We have the best chitim money can buy, and it's before you don't have the chitim, but your neighbors do. You can serve as an agent for me. I'm giving you now the 1,000 shekels for the ton of wheat, and you know that you don't have it, but your neighbors have it, right? Other people in the market may have it. In that case, we say we extend the kula, we extend the leniency, and we say that's still okay. Why is it okay? Because even though, why is okay? It's a good question. That's what we're going to discuss now, okay? But lemaisa, you already know one answer. Since the moicher, the seller, can easily obtain it, right? Mimela we say it's as if he has it in the store. It's as if he has it already. Be'etzem the chitim are available. It's just a matter of time, location until they get to you. Yeah, you order something from an Israeli store, they'll get it from China in a few days. It's really there. It's in the market. It's just a matter of time. Mimela, we don't say when it came to your house, wow, a whole new thing came out of outer space. It's really that the price went up in my domain, in my house, keilu, and therefore that's not called ribbis. That's 1 second. I'll listen to questions soon. Now we had a machlokes between Rav Dimi and Abaye. Excuse me, Rav Dimi and Rav. Yeah, excuse me. We had Rabbi Yanai and the Rabbi Yanai and Rav. Machlokes Rabbi Yanai and Rav was as follows. We had this twisted case of what? A guy who played that trick with what? With chitim, right? He wants to buy chitim. Then came the time to give him the expensive chitim, and it's okay. And they said, hold it. Instead of chitim, says the seller, I will grant you, I'll give you credit of the amount of chitim, now more expensive. Let's convert it to have credit for wine, right? We say it's still okay. It's still okay as long as Yotza Ashar. As long, the Brisa said, as long as Yesh Loi. As long as he has the schoira, chitim, yain, shemen, then although it's converted and every time it goes up, and yeah, it smells like ribbis in a way. 1,000 shekel chitim became 1,200 of wine. 1,200 wine became 1,400 of shemen. It's still okay. Why? Because every time when you have it in your own store, if in your own store you actually have the item, it's kilo I bought it already. If I went home, it's kilo I went home with the chitim and it grew by me. Then I went home with the wine and it grew up by me. It became expensive by me. We don't care it's in your store because even though it's not by me, it's by you. But because it's by you and it's a done deal and there's me shepara, it's still already a done deal. And we don't say that it was all the time by you and I got a whole new thing. It kilo grew up by me, the buyer. That's a long and short of it. That's what Rav Yanai say. Rav said otherwise. Rav said no. Rav was more limiting. And Rav said, no. You can only actually play that game if you remain with the same product. If you said, I'm going to buy the chitim, right, regardless of the price, staying with the old price, 1,000 shekel for chitim, the chitim became 1,200, 1,500, that's okay, stay with chitim. Once you change to a different product, or even worse, money, it's much worse, because you gave 1,000 shekel cash originally, and you're getting 1,500 shekel cash instead of wheat. Or wine, which is not wheat. Makes a lot of sense, Rav also. He says that's too ribbis-like. If it's the same product, chitim, I am hooked on chitim, right? The chitim, instead of 1,000, the price sticker changed to 1,200. So what? Chitim are the same. The price is a marginal thing. But if it's a whole new product, then Rav was not happy. Unless Yichid Lo Bekeren Zovis, which I'm not going there now. And now we can begin until, sorry, there is a question, and here's another one. Question time. You and he was first. Okay, yes. Today's topic is going to be that point of what? What happens when I go into the store? I want chitim for the lower price, current lower price. The wheat store doesn't have wheat right now, but his neighbors do have. Why does that work? Why does it work? How does it work? We're going to see more than one reason and hopefully answer some of your questions. Says the Gemara. Omarove, very bottom line of Pei Gimel Amud Aleph. We get straight to the bottom line of Samech Gimel Amud Aleph. Bava Metzia. Omarove, says Ove. Hashta de Omer Rabbi Yanai. Now that Rabbi Yanai said, what did Rabbi Yanai say? He said, Mali hen umali dmen amrinan. What did Rabbi Yanai say? Rabbi Yanai said as follows, as I just explained to you. If at the end of the story, when the wheat comes to his house, right, or he comes to collect his wheat, all of a sudden we said, you know what, I disagree with Rav. And I say, who cares whether it's the wheat or wine instead of it, right? Or money instead of it. It's all the same. It's like you said yesterday. Shme kesef ke kesef. At the end of the day, says Rabbi Yanai, if it's okay to buy wheat for 1,000 and under certain conditions, right, if yeshloi, right, I can get the same wheat, same amount that I'm credited for, even though it's more expensive, I don't care if we now change it to a voucher of a meal in a restaurant. Anything. Why? Because hem and meim are the same. Rabbi Yanai on purpose blurs the difference between the actual product and the money. Okay, legit. Same thing. Now let's swap it the other way. Mali dmeyen umali hein nami amrinan. The same way we say, what's the difference between, Joseph said, no difference between the food and the money, no difference between the money and the food. What does that mean? Explains Rashi as follows. It's a very long Rashi. Let me condense it for you. The story is as follows. Just like at the end of the journey, not at the time of the original purchase, at the time of collection, I can collect not the original product. What happened? I'm so sorry, Mr. So-and-so buyer. Oh, yo, customer writes, we don't yet have the wheat. I'll give you instead something else. I'll give you barley. I'll give you wine. I'll give you, I don't know, a ticket to Avram Fried show. I'll give you something else instead. The Seder, good, right? That's the end of the journey. Yeah. So too, at the beginning of the story, let's say I come to the store and he doesn't have the wheat itself, right? Mr. Wheat owner doesn't have the wheat. Here, the wheat, it's called it. Mali dzmein or mali hein. What do I want now? I now gave money to the guy in order to get wheat. He doesn't have wheat. Just like you understand that if the guy has wheat, the seller, then it's okay. He has wheat in the store. So that very wheat, it's already kilo in my house, right? It's kilo in my house already because it's been decided it's shepara. So too, if he doesn't have the wheat, he has a substitute of the wheat, which is what? Money. If I gave him money for wheat, imagine yourself a big envelope, money for wheat only. That money which I brought him for the wheat, and with that he can buy it by other people. That is as good as if he has the wheat itself. In other words, what we're saying here is very, very simple. We're saying here, Yotza Hashar. Once the shar is there, because he has the money, the availability, and the ability to buy the wheat, it's as if the seller has the wheat, and therefore it's a done deal. And then we go weiter and we say it's already in the house of the buyer, as we said all the time. It's just that the new point here is that we come here from the point of view of who? Of Rabbi Yanai. Just like Rabbi Yanai at the end of the journey said, if you're committed to me to give me wheat and it's okay, it's not ribbis, you can give me something as expensive as a new price of a different type, such as cash, and we don't say shmeks of ribbis. So too at the beginning, the same thing. Just like if the seller has real wheat in his storage room, and I decided with him, even without kinyan, it's a level of a mishapor of commitment to say, done deal. Oh, now if the chitim go up, it's as if they went up in my own fridge. So too, if his store is empty, just open now. And what? And I gave him money for wheat, and in his store he has money for wheat, and his neighbor has wheat. That's close enough. There too, we blur the differences and we say it's good enough and it's considered as a done deal. And therefore, even though now he's going to get it from others and bring it to me in 2 months' time, lo meshaneh. That's already all a development on top of an existing kinyan. That's what we're saying. Rashi actually asks, what's the chiddush? Because it's a mefurish mishnah later on that says, Yotza Shar, once it's available in the market, you can poiskin, you're allowed to do that. And Rashi answers, Enachinabi, because there are other opinions. Here we just come to decide like this opinion. Rav doesn't believe in that. Rav says no. Rav says, very, very good point. Rav, I asked my chavrusa, does that mean the Rav that doesn't believe in that, Rav doesn't believe that at the end of the journey, you can give anything else, just original product. But Rav still believes Poskin is a shar, because there are other reasons besides that we'll see later. Very, very good point. Rav still believes that once the shar is out, once it's available in official price, it's still okay, but for other reasons. Frag the Gemara, Upoiskin, Upoiskin al shar, continues the next line, Upoiskin al shar shebashuk, and now we can paskin, which means poiskin, we can set a low price, knowing it will be more expensive once it's shar bashuk, once it's available in other places and officially sold everywhere, not black market, it's just there everywhere. Even though this particular wheat seller doesn't have it, if it's available out there, it's good enough. That's it. Frag the Gemara question, and you're all going to know the answer. Asked Rove, challenging him from the previous brisa we saw. What did we see in the brisa? Kulam, we said in the brisa of what? Wheat becoming wine, becoming oil, right? Kulam, all these cases we said, im yesh lo mutar, im ein lo also. Hey, it said over there in that case, only if the person, the seller, has the wheat, has the wine, has the oil at the time of speaking about it, then it's okay. When it's really there on that shelf over there next to the fridge, then I can say this is already ki'ilu in my house and gu in my house. But if he doesn't have it in the store, it's usher. So you see l'choira that the fact that other people have it is not good enough. Omar lehu, Rami Levi, and Osher are. Now we're coming in. Omar lehu, no, says Rove. That's not a question. Hosam halva, ochos bini. Over there, the story of wheat that turned into wine, that turned into oil, that turned into a frog, all that story over there was what? It started by halvo. How did it come to the shop originally with cash? No, it didn't come with cash. The buyer was really a Baal Choiv, was a Malve, who says, you owe me already 1,000 shekels from 2 years ago, and now I want, and now what? And now he said, okay, instead of giving you cash, I'm giving you from your voucher, your credit, your rights, are translated into what? Into food. Then he has to have the food in store. Other than to Luftgeschäfte, it's nothing. I can't come with air and get air. Yeah, why? Because first of all, the Chavrusa said correctly, forget about Rami Levi and all that, it's more like halva. There's nothing concrete. And also more similar to halva. Whenever you have halva, smells bad. Why? What are we all paranoid of? Halva of ribbis. What is the rice? Halva or mechira? Halva. Halva beribis. Because it's halva, that's already a reason to say it started on left foot. In other words, it was a halva here, you lent money, and you're getting something that's not concrete. There's no wheat over here. You're getting rights, you're getting this, and at the end of the day, you're going to get 1,200. Doesn't look nice. But Shenken, in our case, when you started purchasing, and I came to your store with real cash, and that cash is something that you yourself, you the seller, can go and buy wheat. It's kilo, you have wheat. But if all you have in your store is what? You don't have wheat, and you don't have money to buy the wheat. The money you spent already. The money is what I lent you 5 years ago. Yeah, he does. The seller has no money, no wheat, no nothing. Promises. That's like I gave my money to halva. I lent him money to a black hole, and he'll come back with more money. That looks like ribbis. And therefore over there it's a problem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Now let's continue now to a whole new reason. Now we're going to see a different reason to the same idea. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef Damit Ravayu. Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef, both of them said a different reason. My time, why is it Omer Rabbanon Poiskin al Shar Shebashuk be'afal pi she'en loy? Same thing. They're looking for a new reason. Why did Chachamim say that again? If I come with cash to your store, you don't have the wheat, but many other people have, yeah, then it's okay. It's already a done deal. It's all fine. It's all good, fine and dandy. We gave a reason before. Why? Because the seller could easily get it from his friends. Okay, your question aside. They give a new reason from the perspective of the buyer. The Omerle says the buyer to the seller, and here I want to mention something important. We're now embarking on a newish thing, and that is, which I think we all know, and I'm stopping on purpose here, what would happen if somebody, let's say, lent money to Reuven, yeah, someone lent money to Reuven and tells Reuven, listen, I lent you money, and you know what, my daughter is trying to get a very prestigious school, and now I want you to talk to the menaheles of the school, because I lent you money, remember who your friend is. So besides the fact you have to give me back the 10,000 shekels, I also want you to speak to Mrs. Weaver, the menaheles. That's okay? Ribbis, it's ribbis. It could be even ribbis d'oraisa, which means, says the Ritva, if it's a favor that it does to him ki'ilu, but it's for free, mela, that's could be derabanan. But if it's a payable thing, let's say a person has a job to speak to Benahalos of Yaakov on behalf of people, he charges 50 shekels an hour and then 500 shekels if your daughter gets into school. Let's say it's a paid thing, and he does it for free just because he's a loive, that's ribbis k'tzutza. Your question from yesterday, from a few days ago. Service, if it's worth money, is also ribbis. Yeah. In other words, I lent you money, and you have to give me back all the money. And besides, you're a very professional singer. Besides, I want you to play for free at my daughter's wedding. That's ribbis. Could it even d'oraisa if it's pre-decided and it's a paid measurable thing? It's a ribbis d'oraisa. What does that have to do with us? You're going to see soon. Let's continue. The Omar Le says the buyer to the seller, Shkila tivusich, take your favor, in inverted commas, v'shadya chizri, and throw it on the canes, and throw it on the reeds. Yeah, in other words, you didn't do me any favor. I'm just translating first. Yeah, says the buyer to the seller, you think you did me a big favor by selling me for cheap at the beginning and stay with the old price? It's not a favor at all. My honestly, what did you benefit from me? What did you mehani me? What profit do I have from you? If I had money in my hands, right? If I had money in my hands right now, Have him as a benina. I could have bought the same product you're selling me now, if it's what? If it's yotza shuk. If the market is available in other places, you're saying no, I don't have the money, the thing now. I'll get it for you from the other store. I could have gone there myself. Have him as a benina. I could have bought it behini ubeshili bezoila. I could have bought it in a town called Hini or another town called Shili. And those towns were near Pumbedisa, and Pumbedisa where Rabbi and Rav Yosef were. Rabbi and Rav Yosef spoke about their surroundings. If I give examples, I say Ramah Hey, Ramah Tezvav, Ramah 15. Yeah, it's like where we live. In other words, I could have bought it for cheap at other places too. Let me explain. The story is as follows. If the person is, let's say the market is still empty, and he's an early bird, that seller, and the seller says, you can get it by me, not by anybody else. And you know what? In 1 month's time, the market will be full of people, and they're going to get those chitim for 1,000 shekels. I'm selling you now early for 500 shekels. Nobody else can give you that price because nobody else has the wheat, just me. And I'm being nice. I'm giving you 500, although for 500, even though it will be more expensive, you stay with the old price, with my price. It's not available anywhere to be seen. Then we say, oh, there's a favor he's doing for him. In other words, he's selling him something unavailable in other places, and eventually it will be more expensive, and he stays with the old price. That's called hano. That's called like talking to the menahelis. Even though it's not a difference in time, the mere fact that we have mal v'loive relationship here, right? Because the kohen and mocher are like a mal v'loive in a way, and he's doing him that extra favor of selling him something unavailable anywhere else and staying with the old price. That's called an extra favor done. That's called an extra favor done, and that's considered like a ribbis, as opposed to yotza shar. If other people have it all over the market, everybody can get enough for let's say 1,000. So the fact you sold me for 1,000, and later on I'm going to get it for 1,200 from you, when it comes back to me, it will be more expensive. That doesn't make any difference because there's no favor involved. I didn't really gain anything. In other words, we're changing gears here. The fact that the product was 1,000 and then it's 1,200, so what? That's again, it's like being in mefit, nothing. If I order something online, it comes to my house a week later. Meanwhile, it's more expensive. I didn't gain anything. I just gained the same thing. Elama, if you say there's a chapa over here, if the extra money is accompanied with what? With an extra favor of only available by me, nobody else, and I'm keeping you the old price, everyone will run to the stores in a month's time. Hey, look, they're all going to pay 1,000. And you'll stay with your 500, wow, feeling like the king of the world. That's an extra favor done by the loive to malve, which is seller to buyer. That's what Rabbanan didn't allow. But if there's no favor there, then nothing. That's the new look of Rabbi and Rav Yosef. Now, I saw the Meforshim say very nicely. Rabbi and Rav Yosef basically say that the reason why the availability makes a difference is from the buyer point of view, not the seller point of view. Up until now, we said, why is the fact that other people have it makes a difference? The seller doesn't have it in his store. Because we said the seller can buy it in other places. Now we say the buyer could buy it. If the buyer can say, listen, what, you're not offering me price, you're still leaving it by you for longer than I want. There's nothing good here. You're saying I could buy it from the other people as well as from you. So because it's available for me, from you, I can buy it from you, wheat seller, or from Hini or Shili from the others, then it didn't really make a difference. Yeah, it's available. It's kilo in my house already because I could have bought it, not from you, from others. And then I saw today very quickly. I saw in the Chavrusa, it's like a sequel similar to Arts actually. The Chavrusa, he says he brought the B'S Yosef, didn't get to see it inside. The B'S Yosef says both reasons are right together. You need both reasons. The seller could have gone to Hini or Shila to the other sellers, and the buyer could have gone to. Because both seller and buyer could have gone, whichever one, to the other store to buy it, Mimela, that's not called anything of special service from this buyer, and even though he doesn't have it, it's not called ribbis. Okay, I prefer continuing, but I'll hear you now, and then we continue. It's not an official question time, but you gotta. Back to Gemara. Amar Abayla Rav Yosef. Sorry, no offense, but let's just get with the flow, get into things, and then you can ask more questions. Amar Abayla Rav Yosef. Question: Elamata. According to your logic, that what? That just staying by the store doesn't gain me anything, right? If it's available and good, and the fact that it became more expensive didn't do anything to me. If so, mutar lilva so besa. L'choiro, so beso should be allowed. Remember so beso? That's a different zero which we haven't discussed in a long time. What would be if, what would be if, let's say, a person lends his friend how much? A ton of wheat worth, I don't know, 500,000 shekel, and eventually he'll give him back how much? Exactly the same product, a ton of wheat worth million plus, worth a million, worth much more. That's not allowed. Why? It's the same product. That's all beso. Same product, but it's halvo. You lent X. You're getting X that's worth more by the market just because of inflation. That's not allowed. Why? More with your logic, it should be allowed. Mishum de matzi omerle, because the lender can tell the borrower shkila tivutzich v'shida achizoi. Take your favor and throw it on the chizru, throw it in the bamboo. Why? The omerle, because you could tell him chiti de kadchi b'achlevoi. If my chita, which I lent you, would have stayed in my mechsan, would have stayed in my storage room, would it start growing? Would it start going bad? Would it start likdoach? Would it start growing like bad parasites, like bad stuff, like fungi? Mapitom. In other words, it's a very, very logical question. Let's say that wheat would have stayed in my fridge, in my storage room, it would also become expensive. It happened to be in your room. You didn't gain any money to me. It didn't give me anything. Inflation happened because of Dow Jones, because of the war in Ukraine, because of I don't know what, because of the new, I don't know who, because of the government. At the end of the day, it just got more expensive by you. It would have become more expensive by me too. I didn't gain anything. So why do we say there it's usher? Exactly the same. Why so usher? You didn't benefit me anything. Omar Lay, the magic answer. He told him, no, says Rav Yosef to Abaye, Hosam halvo hochav bini, same as before. Over there was halvo. Here it's a sale. Halvo always smells bad. When you lend somebody something, you lend him what? Wheat. You lend him something, even though it's true. It's not that he gave you anything extra. He gave you the same wheat, the same bag of milk, not the very same, obviously. Another bag of milk you bought in Osher, and then what? It happens to be more expensive. He's not doing anything for you. But halva means what? You gave something, said goodbye, and now came a whole new thing. That is a whole new. That's like halva. It smells like halva, feels like halva. Therefore, Rabbanan didn't allow it. Mashenkin over here, it's a mechira. Over here, when I buy something from you and you're not doing me any big favor because I can buy it anywhere, it happened to wait by you. And who? Here I'm getting the same old price. Even though the price is new, that's not a favor. True, it's not a favor. And it's okay that it's not a favor because it's a sale. And a sale is more different to the real big bad black ribbis, which we're all scared of. So there's no gzera. That's one way of looking at it. Omarle, here comes a question which is relating to question asked here before. Omarle adabar abba lerove. Adabar abba asked rove. On the same story. What did we say before? We said here, Rabbi and Rav Yosef, what did they say? What are you doing me a big favor? It's not a favor. I'm going to my local makolet, and really I could have gone to other makolet in the moshav in the kibbutz and buy it straight from them, right? You're not gaining it. I'm not gaining anything from you, so it's not called ribbis. Frag the Gemara, wait. There is one thing he's saving here. He should have given Zuzi Lasafsera, the Safsar or the Sarsu, the middleman. I should have given him agent fees. That's like the wholesaler. That's translating what you guys were asking. If I buy from a local friendly makolet, I don't have to pay the extra that's called in Hebrew dmei tivuch, agent fee. I don't have to give the agent fee to nobody. If I would have to start schlepping to Hini and Shili, to the nearby villages, probably I would have needed some agent fee. So the fact you're selling me saves me something. That was your question, right? I think in a different way. I am saving something and I am getting a favor. What kind of favor? Even though, it's not like doing me an extra favor. He's not losing anything, but I'm gaining something. I saved on the agent fee. So why do you say I didn't gain anything? Why don't we see that as ribbis? Answers the Gemara, Omer le. So he answered to him, Rove, the kayoiv le nami. No, enochinami. We're talking about a friendly store that does charge agent fee. He's not stupid. He said, I'm charging you what? The 500 of the early wheat. Not too early. I'm charging you the, let's say, 1,000 at other stores. Remember, from them, he's a nasty guy. From them, you should have gotten, you would have paid 1,000 plus 100 shekel dmei tivuch, dmei tivuch, agent fee. For me too. Remember, the Dmei Tivuch, he would have said, you pay to me. So he didn't gain me anything. He didn't grant me anything at all. And chinami. Mashma, let's stop here. Mashma, that you guys are right. You should be happy. And chinami. If Lu Yetzuyer, I would have paid an extra 100, and from this guy, the friendly local Macaulay down the street, wouldn't have charged me the extra 100, then enochinami, it would be ribbis, it would be usher. Yes, it would be usher. And from here, the Ritva says the story about the Daber Ola L'Shilton. Says the Ritva, from here we see the Macaulay guy didn't lose anything by what? By the fact that if I would have saved on the if I would have saved on the fee, on the agent fee by buying from him, you didn't lose anything. You don't take agent fee, that kind of guy, but I gained indirectly from the fact that I would have lost agent fee by other places. And by you again, it's also called ribbis. In other words, let's say I have a friendly talk with the Menahel every day anyway. Let's say my friend is the Menahel of a cheder. I talk to him every day anyway about this and that and the other. Doesn't cost me anything at all to talk to the Menahel. I have a friendly conversation. I chat with him every day. Nice guy. He's a chavrusa. Okay? Now, let's say I lent money, I borrowed money from someone. That someone wants to have his kid in school. He says, Akiva, can you talk to your friend the Chavrus and get my kid into school? I'm not losing anything by that, but he's gaining. He's gaining, and I'm not losing. That's also called ribbis, derabanan. No, it's not tzaddik means we don't know if there will be ribbis. This is more like a case of kilu neshech without tarbis. Yeah, in other words, yeah, I'm not losing anything at all. Yeah, but Lamaisa, the Malvi is gaining from me chatting with the guy. That's ribbis derabanan. How? What? No, I'm talking to the Manal for him. I'm doing him a favor. No, I'm talking to Manal every day. I'm chatting with him 10 minutes before we start the Chavrusa. I'm not, no. He's gaining. No, the one gaining is the Malve who lent me money. You confused. That's what I'm saying. I'm making him gain. That's awesome. No, I'm not gaining. Mapitom. That his kid will be in school. I'm not gaining. Mapitom. He lent me the money already.
Oh, I know.
Thank you very much. That's ribbis. Excuse me, guys. That's ribbis. Ribbis means that now the mother is going to like me more. Thank you. That's ribbis. That's also, you make it worse, better for the ritual. However, let's say I have a new profession, menahel speaker, protectia giver, asken, and I charge money. And we decided, let's say Yitzchok says, I'll lend you money only if you talk to the menahel. And it costs money to talk to the menahel, and I do it as a profession. I sit down with a professional hat and my phone. Then what? Then it's also the oraisa, because it's mamish something cut and dry and pre-decided. Weiter, a similar answer. Ravashi answer regarding the wholesaler here. Zuzi de inshi inu avdilis of serusa. Money talks, which means, says Ravashi, who says you need a safsal? If people know you have cash, and he does, he comes with cash, the money of the person does the agent fee for him, which means if you have money and people know it and they're merchants, they run after you. When people know you have money, then they'll come to you with all kinds of business offers. So you assume that there's always the agent fee to be paid by Hini Shili. Not always true. In other words, it's similar to the first answer, but the other way. The first answer says everybody charges agent fee. This answer says nobody charges agent fee. So at the end of the day, I didn't gain anything. But both answers would agree that Lu Yetzuyar, other people would charge agent fee, and my one particular friendly guy would not charge. There would be a problem of ribbis. And then even if Yotza Hashuk, it's a problem because I'm gaining something from him, and that's called like ribbis. Weiter. Now, next case about Lo Yotza Hashar. Rabbi Rav Yosef, questions 10:25. Rabbi Rav Yosef. Enochinami, I stand. Enochinami. So that does answer the question. True. If Lu Yitzur, I'm gaining any extra thing from buying in this shop because he would have had to pay more and I don't have to pay that extra, then true. Then it's called ribbis. Then it would be a problem. It would be a problem. Rabbi Rav Yosef Damit Avayu. Rabbi Rav Yosef both said, and now we're adding a very important detail to the case of Lo Yotza Shar the Yeshloi. Let me ask you the question. It's all the same, just it's the same quiz questions. What would be before we continue, what would be if the shar is not out yet? A few people here and there have it. Back then we're talking about wheat. Some people who are the actual farmers, they can sell you in the farm, in the outlet store, in the farm itself. They sell you over there in the factory store before everybody else does. Okay, cheaper, and before everybody else, and it's not Yotza Shar. It's like a weak Shar. It's called early Shar. It's like a pre-market value. Yes. Or more. Cheaper. Yeah.
Nobody else has it.
I think so. What do you mean cheaper? They have a price. Later, when there's more demand and more market, the price goes down.
The first guy that has a new phone.
I hear. I hear your time. Let's stay with it for now. Okay. They chart. No, it's not the story here. There's less demand, less market, and less people buying. Whatever. I hear you. Interesting point. Be discussed. Lamaisa, let's say most people around don't have it. I do have it. Okay. And you know what? Maybe it's not cheaper. Maybe I'm doing it cheaper for you because to do you a favor. That's a ribbis. Could be. Lamaisa is selling it for cheaper. Okay. Cheaper than will later be. Cheaper than the predicted inflation. Better. Now, he's selling the wheat. Okay. Now, I want to ask you the question. I want you to answer me. What would be if I come to the store with money, okay, and other people don't have it, but he does have it? Is that okay? He has the wheat in his store, and we made the deal. Let's close on 1,000, even if later it will become 1,200. And he has the wheat in the store, and other people don't. Is that good or not good? Good, fine. Everybody knows he has the wheat. Still, there's a condition. Rabbi Rav Yosef said it's wonderful, but there's an egg. Why is it fine, by the way? It's not really his. Why do we say kilo the wheat is in my house? It's not. No, pa, he didn't make a kinyan. What's a kilo kinyan? Why is it a kilo kinyan? Because of, so what if money doesn't buy you metaltalim or love? What? You're missing the two words, mem shin. Mi. Misha, pora, lechaved odor. Yeah, Misha pora. Because if the guy, after getting money, the seller starts, getting cold feet and changing his mind, is going to get a terrible kalala from the Beis Din. Amen. That's why we say that he's sort of obligated already, and that's why it's kilu hooked on me already, the buyer. It's kilu mas, kilu, and it's good enough. That's not news. I'm just reviewing now. Okay? It's not really a transaction, it's a mishapora. Close, yeah. Rabbi Vav Yosef Dami Tovayu. Both Rabbi have said the following. Hi man de Yoiv Zuzi, a person who gave money, atar acharifa. Charif here does mean spicy or smart. Charif means early, like chorif. A person gave money for the early rate, the rate before everybody else, the rate that goes in those farmers in the fields, whatever the rate is. Sorich, in order to kosherize that deal and stay with the cheap price for later, he has to actually show himself, come in body, in person, to Beidari. Remember Beidari from beginning of Metzia? Beidari is a granary. He actually has to go to the granary and make the deal over there instead of just dealing with him in the market or in shul. Don't make do business in shul, Khalila. Yeah, you can't just meet him anywhere. You have to actually go to the granary and there do the business. Very applicable to 2023. No WhatsApp, no email, kosher phone, prefer phone. You actually have to go to the actual granary and do the business there, and that's why it's okay. Frag the Gemara, like what? Why are you taking me? The bank just told me that in order to get something on the internet, I have to actually go to the bank. There's no other way. Okay, back to the cave. You have to go to the bank to get something. Why do you have to go there? Frag the Gemara lemai. What for? Ila mikna. If you want to actually do mashiach and pull it, haloikoni. Right? We say no. You don't need kinyan gomor in order to save the problem. That wouldn't be a chiddush. If I mamish did mashicha, then of course it's mine. That's not the daf about. Oh, but if the point is to say that the other person, the seller, has mishapora level of obligation, and that makes the whole big ki'ilu, which is true. If so, kilo mitchazi, even if he's not showing up, he's not seen the buyer in the granary, nami mekabel mishapora. Mishapora is there, even if it's done by WhatsApp phone or if they met in the marketplace. Why does he have to go in person to the actual granary? Answers the Gemara, no. You tell me now, guys, before we continue, if you want to show someone, for good or for bad, that you really, really, really mean business, do you send a WhatsApp, phone call, email, or do you show up in the guy's house? You show up in his house, even in 2023. Yeah, people fly for business. Why? Why internet? People want to show themselves at the business place. Yeah, I'm here in person, flesh and blood. Answers the Gemara. Le'olam lekibula le'mishapora. Really, it's true. It's just mishapora, not more than that. So why does he have to show up? Uman deyav zuzi atara charifa. People who are early buyers, early birds, they give money for the early shar and say, stay with me with the same price. Those smart businessmen, they go to more than one place. They go to 2 or 3 places, buying from all of them. They're big soichrim. They go to more than one person. And therefore, if the person, the buyer, went to the seller's granary in person, closing his phone and showing up, that shows he means what? He means business. Samcha daite. He shows what? He shows I'm really relying on you. I'm not just window shopping online on the phone, maybe. I actually was toireach to come to you to show that I want to buy from you and not from others. The Eloi, if you just called, can you tell me how much this and that costs? You know, like an online quick search? No. Omar Lay, if he didn't show up in person, then the seller may be able to tell the buyer, Amina, I thought the ashkachat piri, the shapiri mididi. Those 2 months you didn't show up. We spoke about something, and I thought you found other payers shapiri midi nicer than mine. I thought you were window shopping, and therefore the shakalt, and you took them. Therefore, I don't have mishapar, and he's right. Mishapar means what? You broke a deal. Didn't you see that I'm very serious about it? You say mishapar is because you saw I'm serious, and you dodged out. You chickened out, right? So you also have to show seriousness from the side of the buyer. Showing seriousness is showing up. But if it's just something they met in the market, they met in the chasana, discussed something, doesn't mean anything serious, and then there's no mishapara. If there's no mishapara, then it is a problem of ribbis, because it's not that a closed deal. Omar Bashi, quickly 1 second. Omar Bashi, Ravashi builds on top of that. Hashta, a very, very mitbakesh thing to say. Omar Bashi, hashta the Omar, now that you said mishum mismach daite, now that we said that the reason why he has to show up is because seriousness was shown. I really mean business, and I'm really interested in buying from you. If so, afilu ashkeche beshuka, even if you found him in the marketplace, didn't go in person. The Omer le samche daite, and he told him, I am. In Hebrew they say, ani bone alecha. If he told him, I'm really serious about it. In other words, he said, I'm relying on you. I'm not buying by anybody else. I'm not just searching for the best price, and you're just one name in my list. If he actually told him, I'm really interested in those wheat, seriously, right now, not right now, I'm gonna get them later. Let's close on a price. Let's is not giving him money even, but it's an old deal, right? Let's he owes him money as a credit, but he has grains in his granary, right? And if they met at the chasana, but he took him to a side room and he said, I'm really serious about buying those wheat, whatever happens, then we say that even though he didn't show up, he showed seriousness in other ways. That creates mishapora obligation by the side of the seller, and now it's enough of a done deal to say that from now on, all the extra shekels that grew on the wheat are just automatically growing on the wheat ke'il already belonging to the buyer, and it's not a problem of ribbis. And now I'm going to ask your question, hopefully, if I know the answer. Yes. Okay. Now we're about to start a very, very important, to mention a very, very key, important sentence. Yeah, a very important dogma all over ribbis. Omar of Nachman, klale de ribbisa. The rule all over ribbis, meaning both by halva and by mechira, by sale, kol agar natar le osu. Agar natar are words which are very key words in ribbis. Whenever agar natar, whenever a person gets money in order to wait for the money, for his money, it's usur. Let me explain. I'll explain everything. When somebody lends me money, let's say, you lend me money, you're waiting for your money to come back. You lent me money in Tishrei, you're patiently waiting from Tishrei till Pesach for your money. And if the ribbis, I'm paying you money, I, the loive, giving you more money, called ribbis, because you are waiting for your money. It's like you guys said before, it's like renting money by logic is something that would grant you money. Halacha says no, that's osur. In other words, the mechanism of ribbis is the malve is waiting for his money to come back home from the loive's house, patiently or impatiently. And for that, the loive gives money for the malve. Thank you for being so patient with me. Yeah. Then that's called agar, natal, agar, schar, reward for waiting for natal. What's the big chiddush over here? That it also applies to mechire, which means, let's say I'm really interested in the chitim right now. I come to the store. What? You don't have chitim this year? You advertised online. You have chitim. What's going on over here? I'm so sorry. You know what? I'll give you for cheaper than the original price. Why? Because you're so nice and it feels so messed up for not providing you now. It's so nice. You're waiting for the chitim a whole month instead of getting them now, instant gratification. For the fact you wait, dear Mr. Customer, for that I'm lowering the price. Kilo giving you money. That's agar natal. And that is one key issue over here. Says the Ravid, something very important which I wanted to tell you before. The chiddush of klal derbisa, you hear Rav Nachman's dramatic words, it's an overall rule. It's a general rule, klal all over ribbis. Says something interesting. The Ravid says in the sheet, I saw it this morning. What would be, and that's important to know, we kept saying all the time that providing that he has a schor, if I buy chitim for 1,000 and they became 1,200, it's the same chitim, it's okay. Says the Ravid, red herring. If I said mefurish the words, it's 1,000. You know what? Eventually it's going to be 1,200. But I want to stay with the old price because I'm waiting for chitim to come to me. That's awesome. If they didn't say anything, they said we're closing on 1,000 on chitim kilo. Yeah, it became more expensive organically because of the government. Because what? And it's the same chitim, no problem. Rav, Rabbiana, everyone. But if we said outright, 2 months, I have to wait 2 months. So I want to stay with the old price, and not the new one, 2,200. With the guy will come to my door. If you specified verbally, then it's off. Because that already schmecks of ribbis. It's not something automatic and organic, and it's a government's fault. You are saying, I'd like to, yes, what? I would, or the seller says, the seller says, I'd like to charge 1,200 when eventually you'll get it, you'll come to the store. But because you're waiting for so long, I'm first telling you, thank you for waiting 2 months, and therefore I'm giving you the old price. If he specifies it, then verbally makes it more ribbis-like, and derabanan would be goizer, and that's a Ravid's pshat. Okay, thank you. Have a good chodesh. Questions are welcome now again, and thank you to all our Torah Anytime viewers. I don't know how many are there, and YouTube v'chule. Thank you. Have a good chodesh full of Torah v'simcha la Yehudi ma'isar v'simcha v'sasam yikar. You should only have one thing of ribbis. Harbe inachas, harbe simcha, harbe hatzlocha.